Hi there, and welcome to Jay's Toy Collection UK for another episode of This Week in Toys. And tonight, it's a big one. There's a lot of length. It's a giant one. Innuendos will be running wild tonight. That is for sure. But do not panic, I am not alone. So you would usually see, of course, the other half, Cheeky Monkey Kiara, here, but she still has not returned home. So she had the day off work and she decided to go to the beach. Didn't go with me, went with her sister, left me behind, couldn't be asked. And she doesn't come back. And that was about, what time did she leave? About 12 hours ago she's been at this beach. So she's somewhere down in Devon, I think. And, well, she might return at some point this evening. So I've had to replace her. So I'll get some guests in a second when I pressed a few buttons. And let's hope it goes a bit smoother than last week when I kicked myself out of my own stream. So that went really well. So hopefully this week goes much, much better. Last week I was tired. This week I am bloody hot. It's like 30 degrees here in the UK. I've got my sort of a wiping rag there to keep me cool. But I've got a selection of guests for you this evening. One of them is late. You'll never guess who it is. So he's pulling it off again. Right, here we go. Let's start with, of course, the man famous for his turtles. So let's bring to the show, of course, here he is himself. It is Super Turk 5000. It is Tanner.
Hello, everybody. How is it? How are you today? This evening, this lovely evening, Jay. Aside from being very hot.
I'm very hot. Are you very hot? How is your heat? I think that's the most important
Oh,
thing to discuss tonight.
mate, the one thing I wish I had on this desk while I'm filming is a fan coming at me with the fresh air. But it is what it is, right?
Yeah, it would be lovely. So, of course, Super Turk 5000. Last time he was on the channel, he was joined by a certain gentleman, a fellow YouTuber, and he's going to be joined by him again tonight. Of course, it's Mark Tac Tac from Tac Tac Toys with Film.
Good evening, Jay. Good evening, Tanner. Good evening, audience. How's it going, everyone?
There we are. Mark has come through. He's come through a bit crackly. He was all right a minute ago, but his phone decided to hate him as soon as we go live.
Yeah, it always happens. Yeah, always the way.
He'll have a move, and I'm sure it'll be all right because it fixed itself last time. But so Mark is here. He'll work with the technology. And joining us now, then, for the first time on the channel, we have a new guest, and let's hope it works. Here is Dom, of course, from Dom Blanco himself on Instagram. Hello.
How you doing?
Can you hear us?
I can. Can you hear me?
I can hear you. You can hear it. Well, that's brilliant. So that's a good start. Mark's having a fiddle, and we will be joined by Mini Plastic Multiverse in time to come, and of course our fifth guest, the man that's late to any stream. Now, if you can start typing his name in the chat, maybe he will appear. So we will see who that man is. He's famous for being late to a stream, so of course he has to live up to his reputation. But we are here tonight, gentlemen, to discuss the Marvel Legends Haslab. But we will get to that in a minute. So let me try and work out what I'm doing with these buttons. Let's try this one. What sort of layout can we go for? So we've got, well, that's just me, so that's not going to work. We've got that one maybe down the side, but my graphic will be in the way. So or we could try this one. Oh, we could lay in front of the graphic. That's quite a random one. So we might go for that layout as we plot along this evening. Why I've got the spreadsheet open though, I will let you know. Of course, super chats are on the loose. They've been invaded by Giant Man. So if you want to pop one of those at any point this evening to get our attention, feel free to do so, because it might be quite a busy one with lots of people on the stream this evening. So that is the super chat plug. So let me stop sharing that screen there. Go back to that one. And right, gentlemen, let's go through my lovely list. Of course, famous for little lists on the channel. So that is intro. I think we've nailed that. Intro's gone well. Introduce guests. Yeah, I think we've achieved that as well. Introduce guests. Now, sometimes I can't read my own writing. This literally looks like play with myself. I don't think that's what I've actually written, but that is what it looks like. So, what does
Jay, I know you get a lot of innuendo on this channel. I don't think I think this video will get demonetized if you start playing with yourself.
I think it will. We've only just been monetized, so no playing myself. I think it says plug myself actually. So let's share Let's share the screen and tell you about the other videos available on the channel before we get going. Share screen. Let's find a window to share. Let's go for that one there, I think. Is that going to work? There we go. There we go. That works. We're along the bottom. So if you'd like to check out any of the other videos available on the channel, what do I have for you this week? Well, I've got myself and Cheeky Monkey Kiara from yesterday trying to guess the price of the Haslab before it happened. We were way off, but that was good because it was much cheaper than we thought. So if you want to go see us make a fool of ourselves with crazy guesses, that's available. Also got a video on the new collection, of course, the Mondo collection. I've already gone to 12-inch, and well, there's a few of those on the channel. And previously, it was 10 days. I haven't done a video in 10 days, apparently, before that, when I had figures stacked floor to ceiling because there was an absolute ton of pickups to go through. But not too bad this week. It has quietened down since then. So that was the plug myself section of the video. And let me just share this screen instead, because she is not with us this evening. She has abandoned us. There is Cheeky Monkey Kiara. That was her about 6 hours ago on the beach. I don't know whether she's coming back. Maybe she's left me. I'll just put her there so you can see her. Well, are you coming back, dear? We'll never know. She doesn't seem to be in the chat, I don't think. So maybe she's on the motorway. Maybe she's divorced me because I've bought too many toys. Only time will tell on that one. So that was plug myself section. So we'll remove that from the list there. And now it's time for a hello chat. So make yourself known in the chat before we get into everything. And we will say hello to you in the chat. There was a... what can I send you the link, Craig? Useless. Let's send Craig the link again. There was I'm sure I sent it to him earlier. Did I send him the link earlier? I'm sure I did. There was we will find out. Right, press that button, copy the link. We'll do this live. Somebody say something exciting while I send Craig a link.
So I had some good news today. I received a check from the HMRC, the DVLA specifically, because as you guys know, my car was written off. I got a little refund on the road tax. So yes, nice little refund. We'll go into the account. Can't complain on that, albeit it will go towards the car fund, which is still in the process of happening. Nice little. I think I'm going to Istanbul in a few weeks, so I'll probably pick up something when I get back.
Very nice. A nice little refund isn't bad at all. Did you ever get your refund from your Lost Hermes parcels? Did they?
I did. PayPal. I logged a dispute with PayPal, and they came in a few weeks ago. It was like £400. Nice little payout there.
Right, that could go well at this sort of season of this sort of
exactly.
Haslab season.
Came at the perfect time. Haslab season. We got a £200 Haslab on the go. Pow! That's as a good thread Dan would say. Pow! Sounds like a plan.
Copyrighted that. That's about $10 you owe him. So right, I've sent Craig the link. Right, let's say hello to the chat. So who we got in first? Damien. He's even declared he's first. Look at that. He's declared himself first. Tac's in there. He's smashed the like button. Who else we got? We got last week's co-host. We got Figure Cave Doc Collectibles. It was our friend Adam. He's out on the replay this evening. He's probably getting drunk again, trying to recover from last week's stream, and I left him on his own. There was we've lost Tac. He's in and out. We got Pixels and Plastic. Hello to Big Will, of course. He is here. Kurt K. He's watching us in the car on the phone. That's all going on. Hello to Kurt. Of course, he backed the Haslab Ghost. Anybody here back the Haslab Ghost that finished this week? I'm looking at Dom. He'd be the only one I think might have been tempted. Didn't get tempted.
I'm OT. I can't. I've got no space for anything. But I've definitely got no space for the Ghost, the Cat, Slayer, and Eternia. That would be too much.
No, oh yes, you're in on Cat Slayer, aren't you? Yeah, he's in on Cat Slayer. Right, so we're saying hello to... It's Pink Hand Waving. That has to be Jamie. Hello, Jamie, with his Pink Hand Wave. And we've got Mikey Moonboots is in the show. Hello to Mikey Moonboots. Scroll. Keep scrolling. Dan, who's here? He's he's putting himself in his own power emoji now. He's got himself his own little emoji. Daniel S is here. Hello to Daniel S. Who else we got? Kurt K. Christopher Allen is here with some pink hand waving. Mini Plastic Multiverse will be with us soon. He's got a dog issue by the sound of it there. Who else is here? Anybody else? Make yourself known if you're around. Hello to Legion X. Hello, Legion X here in the chat. We got Enrique. Hello to Enrique there. Anybody else? Anybody else? I think that's everybody. I think we've caught up with the chat. And oh, hello. Right then, we've got another guest. Here he is. He's fashionably late. He's got a reputation for this. He's probably going to appear through a puff of smoke. Take a big inhale. Get yourself ready. Here we go. And there he is, ladies and gentlemen. It is Craig from Craig's Nostalgic Collection on Instagram.
Hi,
Craig,
guys.
can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you. Can you hear me?
We can hear you. Yeah, brilliant. There
Brilliant.
we go. Craig has joined us as well.
You didn't send me the link, Jay.
I did send you the link. It's up there. It's up there. I scrolled up.
No, I scrolled up on the Legends and Liquor and it wasn't appearing for me.
Useless.
So I was like, as he sent it me privately, and I was scrolling through all our messages, and I was like,
yeah,
nope.
Useless. There was a.
Terrible.
We got who else is here? We got Jelly Figs. There we are. Hello to Jelly Figs. That's a cool name. I haven't seen before here. Hello. Right. Let's do speed pickups. We'll do speed pickups before we get into our topic of Giant Man. So. Well, let's just go for a single pick. If anybody got any fancy, I'll kick us off because I've got this in this morning. Not really actually sure what it is. So here is the 4-pack from Star Wars Vintage Collection. These are, of course, Jabba the Hutt's mates, as I'm calling them. The old Denzian. Dom, you talk about it. What the hell have I bought?
You have bought Squidhead and Reuse, which are 2 original figures, which are awesome for Jabba's Palace. And you've got 2 skiff guards. One's for the big sail barge, which you now have to buy, and one's for the small skiff, which you probably also have to buy.
Well, I've got the small skiff. Small skiff's good, so I can do that.
I've got the throne room. That's the last guy to finish off the full scene from ROTJ of all the skiff guys on where they're trying to put Luke over the edge.
Right.
That is all. You've now got all the skiff guards have been made in plastic, so you can actually recreate that in plastic form.
But I thought it was people from. As I said, Jabba's mates. I've got Luke balancing on the edge of the skiff, so that'll be helpful for the display. But I thought that would go. I didn't even know this was a thing. I think I saw Boss Bounty do a video on it. I was like, hold on, don't they all go with the throne room I bought? I better buy this before it sells out. So
it does. It's weirdly Reuse is a repack because he already came with the hand carbonite set.
Right. So I'm very new to 3 3/4. I've just been trying to do a Return of the Jedi display, so. I kind of like the box though, so I don't know if I want to open it now. It looks kind of cool in the box. So that was my pickup there. Tanner, got anything to arouse us this evening?
Not immediately to hand. Well, I say not immediately to hand. I have a hand of Nika Minoru, who I picked up for cheap on. Well, not cheap. I've managed to pick up on. What's it called? Oh, I can't remember. Star Action Figures. They found a few figures in recently, and I got my 3rd horse from Mythic Legions somewhere around here as well. So I've only got 1 horse remaining for my Samurai Turtles, and they will all have their own steed to ride off into the sunset.
Oh, right, okay, very nice indeed. I did see your photo of the samurai horse, so that looked really cool with the turtles on it. Craig, got anything to excite us there?
Yep, I went and got my 6-pack of the movie McFarlane Batmans.
Yeah.
I ain't gonna show them all off because we'll be here for ages. But that's Michael Keaton one, which I love. To be fair,
is it 89 or 92? What bat symbol
89.
It's got 89 on it. Okay,
89.
so
with the gold belt. This one.
So is it the same one that's coming with the Batmobile, or have they painted the belt differently?
I think the belt's a bit yellow on the one that's coming with the Batmobile. I think. Okay. I'm not too sure. We'll soon find out anyway.
We will.
So, but I've got that. Yeah, I've got that one ordered as well. So I'll have 3 Keatons on my shelf because I've got the one from the Flash movie as well. Okay. And then I also picked up this one coming in the post. So I'm looking forward to opening this one because he does look really good. So I'm on the search for my Dick now, so to go with him. So And I went out today, and I also picked up the Riddler.
Very nice. The reason that I've restarted collecting McFarlane is that Riddler. So
yeah, he's such a good figure. Like, he's got 6 pairs of hands. Well, yeah, he's got 4 pairs of hands. But yeah, he's just brilliant. The expression and that on him is really good. And then after I brought him, I noticed I found this guy on the shelf, so I picked this one up as well.
Very nice.
Yeah, which I'm looking forward to opening him as well.
Got to get myself a Catman as well. Yeah.
And that's it for now, Joe.
Oh, ladies and gentlemen, I can confirm I can hear my front door. Cheeky Monkey Kiara has returned home. She hasn't divorced me because I bought too much toys. She's just spent 12 hours at the beach, so we can all rejoice. There was if I can catch her on camera as she walks through the door. Let's see if we can get her as she walks through the door. There she is, back from beach. She's got a whole 6-pack of Coca-Cola. There was what are you doing with the guitar, dear? I thought you're going to strum the guitar. Then let's see if I can turn this camera back round now before we. Craig's on the Coca-Cola. Dom, have you got anything else there to show off apart from the old 4-pack?
Mr. Fix-It arrived.
Oh, another one I need to
he's
get.
very nice. He's well worth getting. He's really cool.
Yeah, is he still in stock, or have I missed him? There was
probably still in stock.
Yeah.
He's on pulse.
Yeah.
Good.
These chaps arrived for Origins.
Oh, another 2 I've got. Where'd you get them from? I've got them on pre-order with Props and Replicas.
I think my whole shebang.
Okay.
They're real good on Masters. To keep going with the DC. Strangely, I hadn't actually read a Green Lantern comic until 2 weeks ago, and I've started, and yeah, I've got the DC bug. I've always been a Marvel guy, so I started reading some DC. And some of the Capullo stuff about Batman's been amazing. Really good.
Yeah.
There is more DC inbound, and I'm working my way through Blackest Night, Darkest Night. I read the Sinistro War and the stuff working up to it, and yeah, it's pretty cool. I enjoy it. Yeah.
Yeah, I've done a lot of DC reading. Craig's got a bit of Blackest Night there as well. I've got the omnibus. It's still sealed. It's been here for about 2 years, so I will eventually get round to reading it. But there we go, ladies and gentlemen. It's quite a lot of DC in the pickup today. Tanner's got some horses, and see if I think Mark's back. There was a.
Hi everybody. I fixed my issues. Sorry about that.
There you are. He is back again.
What have I missed? I came in with him.
We were doing speed round pickups. We're doing 1 pickup each. Craig decided to break the rule and at least show me 4 different DC figures there. So you've got anything?
Sorry, I didn't hear that one. I didn't hear the rule.
He doesn't see the link. He doesn't hear. Shocking, Greg. Shocking stuff.
Rebel. I'm not the only one that goes through problems. There's Mark as well. Terrible.
Yeah. I've joined Craig's club.
Contagious.
Any pickups, Mark? We're doing speed pickups.
Yeah, well, for me, I'll give you a quick one because, Jay and everyone, quick one because I know we're doing a quick fire round. What did I pick up recently? Got Torpedo from G.I. Joe Classified. So that came in from Props and Replicas. That's it.
Very nice Torpedo. I need an eel. Anybody got a hookup on a Cobra eel? Because Cheeky Monkey dragged me to the cinema when it went up for pre-order, and I missed the pre-order, and I still can't get an eel. So anybody wants to?
I reckon,
Jay. Here's an insider tip for you: keep your eye on Kapow Toys. They're getting in quite a lot of the exclusives. So keep your eye on Kapow Toys. I think they may have them at some point.
Right, thank you. I will make that noted. Let's just have a final hello to the chat, and then we will get into today's topic, the giantest of all men. Anybody else new in here? Lady Mac is saying hello. Hello to Lady Mac. I think Mike Hex is joining us here. Hello to Mike. And anybody else new? I think that's everybody else. I think we said hello to everybody. So let's do a bit of screen sharing. So let's try. What options have we got? We try this one, or we can try that one. Let's try this one, and I'll turn the banner off. If I can turn the banner off, how do I turn the banner off? There we go. Now you can see us all down the side. Very professional, this stream, ladies and gentlemen. Very professional indeed. Oh, you can see all our usernames now. Anybody chosen an erotic username of any kind? I've got to lean in because I'm blind as anything.
I was tempted.
No, they've all behaved. They've all got nice, normal usernames this evening. Nothing too outrageous there. So let's go to Toy Arc here, and we will show you what we've got from Toy Ark. So let's go up here. And of course, we started off with Ryan and Dwight at 4 p.m. here in the UK, 11 o'clock Eastern. They came on, they looked rather impressed with themselves, and they had a few things to show off. Jesse Falcon turned up. He was thrilling as ever. Giant Man, biggest hero yet. 24 inches of Giant Man, 60 centimeters, ladies and gentlemen. This one's going to be 91 points of articulation. I believe 60 of those are in the fingers, though. And they 29 points in each hand, so I was close. 58 points in the fingers there. Big expressions with swappable face paints. 10,000 backers needed by the 23rd of October at 11:59 p.m. Eastern Time if you want this one. First tier is going to be the zombie face paint at 12,000. Second tier is the scroll at 14,000 for the scroll head, and that's it for tiers. And there's Dwight with his eyes shut and a rather funny screenshot he's been taken in there. Ryan is looking at him lovely, and there is a 24-inch Giant Man. So I thought we'll try and sort of really debate it this evening, chew it over, see what we think. I've written a sort of list of different categories we can go through for him. So I will start with quick overall thoughts. We'll go straight down to Tanner then for overall thoughts on Giant Man.
He looks amazing. He looks really, really good. So much articulation they put into him, into his hands, pretty much everywhere. He's pinless, if I remember correctly. And the face plate thing they're trying is interesting as well. And it's a really good price.
Yeah, I agree with every statement you've said so far. So I suppose I better give my quick overall thoughts as well. Price really surprised me. If you saw my preview stream, thought this was going to be at least 300, and I thought it was about 22 inches. So we've gained 2 inches and dropped £100 in the price. So to me, can't go wrong with this one, to be fair, so far. I've got a few issues with lack of figures and things, but we'll get into that. But for the actual base offering for the price point, I think they might be onto a winner here. And we'll go down to Dom then for his sort of quick overall thoughts before we debate it further.
Yeah, I agree with you guys. As far as price point, can't bang on. Design, bang on. That's the Giant Man that if there's any costume, I'd have chosen that one. I just prefer it a little bit smaller.
He likes his Giant Men a little bit smaller. You've heard it here first, ladies and gentlemen. But it's a little bit bigger than I thought. But it will, luckily for me, it will fit in the display. But he is quite tall. He's coming up to about the bottom of the Sentinel's head, I think. If you think the Sentinel was about 26 inches, so he is quite tall for a Giant Man. Craig, your overall thoughts?
I hate him, Jay. No, I'm joking. I love it. I think it's great. Like I haven't had a Giant Man on my shelf, so this will be the first Giant Man on my shelf and the first Haslab that I will back for Marvel. So yeah, I'm all in on it. I love the price for it as well and what it's initially offering us. So yeah. Excellent.
No, because you didn't. I forgot you haven't got Galactus, have you? You were frantically trying to backtrack him.
And Sentinel as well. Not got either. So.
No, I'm sure they're still quite pricey on the aftermarket, unfortunately.
I'm still stealing parts from Dan Hu, but I'm not getting there quick enough.
Take a part every week when you go and visit him.
Yeah.
You take it apart. Mark, your overall thoughts, sir?
Well, I'm going to say something that's just occurred to me, Jay. It looks quite funny. It looks like a child standing on that table. Look at the size of it compared to the other Marvel Legends. It looks massive.
Yeah, it is 2 foot tall, isn't it?
Yeah. I think it looks. I do think it looks really good. I was actually thinking about, and I'll go into more of this. I know we're going to go into all these kind of things. The things that impressed me quite a lot were the paint apps on it. The paint apps. When Dwight was talking in particular about the different heads and how he painted the eyes, stuff like that impressed me. The thing that I actually really like the most, the scroll head and the zombie head. But yeah, I do think it would be nice if it did come with figures as well. But I do like what Tanner says. I really like how they've used the face, plates for something different. And yeah, it looks really good, and price is good too. Decent price.
Yeah, no, I think the price is really good on this one so far. Let's go into the
Yeah.
Let's go into the face plates then, because my second category was like, Mark, you've read my mind now. I was going to go for design and features. So this confused me a bit. So maybe one of you can help me here. So how the hell are we going to get that faceplate on? Because the way they're showing it, it doesn't have any red on the spare faces. I would almost think the eyes would have to be two separate pieces and the mouth was a separate piece, but it doesn't seem to be that way. Are we going to have to like slide it under the mask bit? How are we going to?
It might be a hollow head where you can click it in at the front from the back. I'm guessing that's probably what it would be. Maybe.
How you like to build MODOK, probably like that.
Yeah, a bit like that where the faceplate it was hollow and you clicked it in, sort of thing.
Oh, we did, didn't you? Oh, yeah, okay, you click that. But that clicked right on the front, didn't it? And you.
I think you're going to have to slide it in because I have a sneaky feeling the front of the face mask is going to be a lot. I don't want to say looser, but more flexible than the rest of it. I think so. You can slide it in and arrange the eyes and the face mask to that. I think it's a case of you're going to have to slide it in through the mouth area,
which is what I was thinking, and sort of underneath and scoop it in. Mark,
Mark,
what are you thinking?
What I was thinking as well.
This?
Yeah.
You got this. Dom, you thinking the same? You got sliding?
The strange thing I thought.
I think the front of the face comes off because when they show you the face plates for the stretch goals, then they're not going to fit. You can't slide it in because they're wider, and it's got replaceable antenna as well.
Yeah, so look at that one you're talking about. There is one of the tiers. Is the replaceable antenna. So that would be easy enough when you can see the pegs there where we clip those. I don't know. I'm just looking at it and just thinking. Because if it was you just slapped it on the front, there'd almost be a seam, I think, down the side of the mask.
There'd be a seam on the side of the mask.
But I can't see the seam. But maybe it's just a digital render, and it's not.
I think the seams could be like really far round on the side.
I wonder if there's any closer photos of the side of it when they had it in.
Yeah.
We haven't got any. I don't think the closest image we've got here is actually. You can't actually see it on there. Well, I suppose that's
if that's like a rubber sort of masks around. You keep pulling that off and changing it around. That's not ideal.
Yeah, no, I don't. Let's have a.
There is a picture of the side of his head there, Jay. If you go back to your pictures. Onto the multiple pictures, there was one of the side of the head, so that might give you an idea.
Okay, yeah, that's a good point. Yeah. Let's try and get a zoom in on there. Lovely textures, though. There's a lot more textures on it than I was thinking. My eyes are terrible. There's
no seam there. To be fair, mate, there is no seam.
No, there is. It doesn't. It does almost look rubbery, kind of as Tanner was saying there at the front. So maybe it is the Rich is here, isn't he? What was Rich just said?
Actually, I've just had another thought.
For up and under. Go on then, Tanner. Hit us with this.
Yeah, up and under, so you can disconnect the head. They already showed the head you can disconnect. If you slide it underneath the actual through the neck hole and place it in like that, up and under, I think.
Yeah, I think we've got that there. There you go. It's how many years toy collecting experience between us, and it's taken us that long to work out how we're going to get it in. Let's do some maths. How long have I been collecting for? 19 years. Tanner, how long have you been collecting for? Let's get the calculator.
I want to say 6 or 7.
6 or 7. We'll stick 7. Dom, you've been a collector for
about 35.
35. That's a good number. Craig, how long have you been collecting?
Oh God, I used to collect when I was younger. Then I stopped. So, but I restarted 2018.
2018.
Oh my God, Craig!
Craig.
Yeah.
No wonder he's missed all these previous projects. Right. Okay. 5 years for Craig and Mark. Hit us with a number, Mark.
Yeah, I kind of have an answer similar to Craig's, but I'll go 30 years or something.
30 years, right. So that's 96 years between us, ladies and gentlemen. Here, you've got 96 years of collecting. We are nearly a centurion in the collecting terms, and we still can't work out how to put a head on a figure.
If you do want to break that ton, I hear Tom is in the waiting room. You can let him in, and we can crack that ton.
You've spotted him. Well done. He's actually. I can now see the top of his head. I've got to scroll down. There's. Let's say hello, ladies and gentlemen, to Mini Plastic Multiverse himself. Let's get Tom on over here and get him on the big screen so you can see him. Hello, Tom. Can you hear us? Oh, you're muted. You're muted. That's.
Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. The dog shut up, but I've got headphones on just in case.
That's all right. Hello. So welcome to Tom. He's here. He's had a few dog issues. Was it your dog, the neighbour's dog? Who owns this erroneous animal?
There's a farm next door, and he's got these massive Rottweilers, and they're just going nuts for about 3 hours.
Oh, right, okay. That's all right. So Tom has joined us. Right. Our first question then. How long have you been collecting roughly?
8 or 9 years now, since
9 years.
since stopping as a child.
Okay, so that takes us, ladies and gentlemen, to 105 years collective toy experience on your screen right now. So we have passed a century. So end the debate for us, Tom. How do we get this head attached?
It's got to be like one of those, like you get with the Mezcos, where what was it? When you slide the electric thing inside. If you've got light up eyes in a Mezco head now, it's got to be a bit like that, hasn't it?
So yeah, literally, almost as kind of I think we worked out. Pop it off, pull something out underneath, and then it slides up and under. Kiara's looking at me in the corner like, "What the hell are you talking about over here?"
Will it be magnetized maybe?
I don't think they're that posh for magnets. Right. So that was faceplate. So that's design. Any other design and features? One I think I'd like to bring up is fingers. Let's try and find some fingers. Look at these things. So not only do we have 29 points of articulation in the fingers, you've almost got this thumb sort of rocker. They've literally made a human hand, so you can do this motion. So you should be able. You're going to have all sorts of poses, aren't you? We're going to have a bit of this. We're going to have this. We're going to have this. We're going to have full finger gripping. So I'm quite impressed with the finger articulation. I thought they might do it rather than doing interchangeable hands because they've done it on the Galactus and the Sentinel, but I wasn't sure because it's not quite mechanical, so I thought it would look weird. But I think it kind of looks okay, and there's a lot of textures and things. So I'm quite impressed with fingers. Anybody got thoughts on fingers? Thoughts on fingers, lads?
Yeah, I mean, I would love to get a photo of him doing the Greco-Roman knuckle lock with the Sentinel. Just have them both in that wrestling pose, to sort of like test their strength. They both have the articulation to do it now, and I think it'll look quite cool. And it's a similar size.
Yeah, no, you couldn't. You do the proper, as you say, the Greco-Roman knuckle knock, the bit of wrestling there, so you could get some nice toy photography on this. Now, Tom's probably the most experienced poser, I would say here. Are you going to utilize these fingers?
For all the parts, I'd rather just had a few different hands. Like the Galactus hands are all right, but they do tend to, like when you've got Silver Surfer in his little posing thing, it does tend to loosen up over time. It doesn't hold 100%. So my thought is that over the years they're going to get looser and looser and looser until you just got floppy fingers.
You don't want floppy fingers. Unless you're going to turn him into the zombie, then you might want floppy fingers. Yeah. But no, the Toy Biz ones over the years, and they had a load of articulated fingers, and they definitely did get a bit floppy over the years. But imagine trying to put your Kiki loose fix in each one of the bloody joints over the years. My poor giant man has got arthritis, ladies and gentlemen, over the years. But yeah, interchangeable hands probably would have done the same thing. But anybody else got any thoughts on fingers?
Dwight also mentioned how he put them in. If you look in the zombie picture, that he put them all like backwards and stuff as well. So he's like they can bend in ways that a normal hand wouldn't.
Yeah, I did. They really are in the zombie. Yeah, they've got they're double jointed almost, aren't they? So
yeah. So
anybody got double jointed fingers? We've got double jointed elbow. Give me a funny pose. No, we've all got normal articulation. Where is it? Rich has said something there about fingering your giant man. You'll all go blind. So the filth is starting in the chat. So keep up the filth in the chat. Cheeky Monkey's joined the chat. She's watching them. If you'd like to get our attention, chat, don't forget you can give us a super chat. Help pay for this bad boy because I have back one. Right. She's shouting at me now. How much have you spent? Well, Why you shout at me, dear, about how much I spent? Let's tell the people how much we spent. Let's discuss the price. So let me go to a different screen here. We will share this tab instead. We will give that a refresh. And right, there we are. So now you should be able to see if this is working, which it does seem to be. That I have spent, dear, £199. I can't quite believe. They can't hear you, Lev. You're just shouting at me now. I've spent £199, and to be fair, I'm quite happy with me £199. That's at least £100 more less than I thought it was, and it's at least £200 less than Cheeky Monkey called it on our live stream. She decided to say it was going to be a £400 Haslab. She thought we were going to get the whole kit and caboodle, but they've kept it very basic. So they've stripped it down to get to this price point of 199. I think after the absolute disaster of last year's Engine of Vengeance, that they've really stripped it back. Now, it would have been nice when we get onto the issues. It would have been nice to have some figures with it at least, but the way they seem to structure these Haslabs is they kind of bake in the figures to the price. If they gave us 2 figures, they would just stick 50 quid on it and make it 250. So if they're going to make it 250, then we might as well just buy the 225 quid figures separately anyway if I want them, rather than being forced to buy them as part of this. So if they were actually a freebie, like they were kind of intended to be with Kickstarters, if they got enough backers, then that would be fine. But the way we learned from the previous ones is they bake those into the price. So even without them, it's nice to have it under 200. And I really was shocked the fact it was under 200, and even for the UK, it was under 200, which was very nice to see, because sometimes we get a bit screwed over because they can't do the conversion right. Technically, it's still not right, because it should be cheaper because the dollar is worth less than the pound. But it is what it is under that. It is £5 shipping to the UK, but that Pulse Premium membership I got for Serpentor's paying off again, so saved myself a £5. I waited a year for Serpentor, but that's another £5 saved, and I did manage to save a lot in the sale. So it's £199.99. We'll go to Tanner. Talk about the controversial point, the price. Are you impressed? Are you not impressed? Talk to me.
I mean, the price makes sense. It's especially as it's not coming with any figures. It's a good price for a good Haslab. Is, as you said, they stripped it back. It's very basic, and I think I'm at a stage now where yes, we've got the tiers, but this price, for this price, am I bothered if the tiers back? No, because it comes with the figure. You're not missing out with anything, and if I do back out, I'm only getting the one, so it'll be my giant man on the display, and I've got the scroll giant man from the Marvel Universe as well. So I like the price. I think it's a really good price, and they've hit on the winner. As I would have said, what, 250 for this when we were speaking the other day.
Yeah. 250 was. I was hoping for 250. I was thinking 300 with a hope of 250, but generally 199. I was pretty shocked, but pleasantly surprised. So we will see if anybody's upset with the price, because of course there is sometimes in the toy community upset over absolutely anything for no reason. But I don't know. I'm not. I'm happy with 199.99. Yeah, I'd love it to be cheaper, but the way I thought of it is I've just got into the Mondo collecting, and I'm paying £200 for those, and they're only 12 inches. Yeah, they're really good quality plastic and they look amazing, so I'm happy with those. But the fact this is double the size, double the plastic, and it pretty much looks on par in terms of the quality. It does look a really nice quality with the textures and everything. I'm quite happy with 199. Dom, how are you feeling on the price?
Yeah, like Tanner said, 200 quid for what it is. I'm happy with it. I'm watching the live stream. There's quite a few comments not as happy in the reveal live stream. But yeah,
did you turn the comments on? Did you in the Hasbro live stream?
I have to. The comments always bring me joy. Yeah, for what it is, yeah, 200. It's surprisingly cheap. It's the cheapest Haslab they've done outside of Transformers across all the brands.
That's true. They did the 180 one, didn't they, or something? 190.
Yeah, the Transformers been 180, 190. But yeah, this is cheaper than Sky Striker. It's cheaper than everything else they've done. It's I can't really fault. Well, actually, I can always fault on the price. But yeah, for what it is, I'm quite happy to pay it. I've already backed it.
Yeah, no, excellent. No, I also turn the comments on just for a laugh, really, when I put it on. I put them on for about 5 minutes, and people just going off for absolutely no reason at all about like stuff that's completely irrelevant. But it always is. If you want a shit show, put the Hasbro comments on. I saw Bug Nice put a post out, and somebody was being an absolute arse to him for absolutely no reason at all, talking about him sort of sucking off Hasbro. I was like, really? He said nothing controversial, and you're just being a twat for twat's sake, really. So that is part of it. I think it does seem to be, but I don't know. I don't know why you can moan about this one. Craig, talk to me, Craig. Are you happy at 199?
Yeah, very happy. Well, it's actually 204 because they've added £5 postage now.
You got to get that premium, Craig. You got to get that premium.
Well, I believe the G.I. Joe ones didn't charge for postage, so I'm guessing it's probably, if it's under 200, they add the £5 probably. But yeah, for me it's perfect. Yes, I would have liked to see a few figures with it, and maybe if there was figures it would bunk up the price, but like you say, Jay, you might as well just go out and buy them £25 figure per figure. By the looks of it anyway, like we've had with Galactus and like we've had with the X-Men, we had the House of X-Wave that come out pretty much just before the Haslab, and then with Galactus we've had more Heralds, so maybe we will see another Avengers wave down the line. We've already seen a Vision, so maybe is that a hint to another wave with maybe the Wasp in that as well, and maybe a few more characters like we discussed last night on Dan's stream, like Swordsman, and we never know, do we? But I'm happy with the price on Ant-Man and Giant Man, even for what we get as well.
Yeah.
And especially with the eyes as well, that new feature with the eyes, it just makes it look so much better and realistic. But anyway, yeah, that's my thought.
Yeah, no. So another one happy with the price. So we're currently 4-4 on the price. We're still. Oh, it's looking for Tac. He's vanished again. So we'll go straight to Tom there. Now, Tom, I know Tom is a man that definitely thought this would have been more expensive. So were you pleasantly surprised?
It was £75 cheaper than what I thought was going to be the cheapest. So, yeah, I'm happy with it. I mean, it's slightly weird that they brought it. I mean, I'm glad they brought it down so much. But if you think this is only 2 inches shorter than the Sentinel, we paid £150 extra on the Sentinel to get 2 more figures, according to their maths.
Yeah. No, I do see your point. I actually thought of that myself earlier. I was like, because I was thinking about baking in the price of the other figures, and I couldn't remember how many came with the Sentinels. Did the Sentinel come with 4, and then that's why it was like not 250. It was only 2, wasn't it? Yeah.
2.
So
figures do you have?
I suppose with the
But
Sentinel,
the Sentinel also came with 3 heads.
But the Sentinel
also came with 3 heads, so you get a lot more, or you're getting a lot more plastic, I would say,
a lot
than
more
you are
stuff
here.
to fill your cupboards with.
Pretty much, yeah.
Talking of filling your cupboards, I was thinking about that with the heads on this, because I was like, I don't think I'm ever actually going to use the heads. But no, that is a good point. So I suppose the Sentinel may have been overpriced at the time, but it was their first one, and it backed really well. So they kind of stuck with that price point with Galactus. Then with the Engine of Vengeance like cocking up, they've decided to go basic, but at a much more basic price. So I can't imagine they're taking a loss on this one, but maybe their profit margin isn't as high as they want it to be on it, just to the fact they can actually get it back and they don't have another failure, because they did talk about that a lot, didn't they? Ryan Ting was talking about the issues previously on the stream, from what I could see. So I think they have gone basic price point for them this time, just to try and get it funded. I know the what is it, that Super Adaptoid is 80 quid. So I was like, but that's a reused body, and this would be twice the size, but sort of twice the depth and twice the width. You'd almost have to 4 times the price it, rather than just double the price. So this is way less than 4 times the price of Super Adaptoid. So it wasn't.
Yeah.
So I'm all right. So we're all pretty much in agreement. The price is okay. So we will see if the wider community agree across the coming days, and will it actually back. So how is it doing in terms of backing? Let's have a look. Rich just caught me out. What did Rich just say up here? He's saying, look at that. I got a compliment there, so I'm going to put that on the screen. That was quite a good point about the Mondo pricing. Thank you, Rich. I will pop that on the screen. What are you talking about? Danny Ketch Ghost Rider should be shipping for Halloween. There was a. I would like to see Danny Ketch Ghost Rider. Have I missed something, or we just chatting a load of rubbish in the chat? Hello to the Wolf Pack. Hello, right. Hello to Miguel. He has joined us here in the chat. Let me see if I've missed anybody else. No, I think that's everybody. They're all just having a chat themselves. There's a lot of wolves hitting in the chat. Right, so we've done price. They're all pretty good on price. Let's talk about what I've circled here as bad points. So I've discovered lack of figures. I've put down as bad points. So we haven't got any figures with this one. It would have been nice to see at least one. I would definitely swap two heads as the tiers for heads, figures, I should say, rather than heads. But just at least a Wasp or a smaller version, like an Ant-Man sort of version of Giant Man. Anybody got any thoughts on figures? Are we really upset that they're not here? Would we like to see them? Are we not bothered? Tanner, talk to me, Tanner.
I mean, to me, would I have liked some figures? Yes. Am I too fussed that they're not here? Not really. Although I am really shocked they did throw in a Wasp with it, especially as this is a Avengers thing, and you have two members there that are synonymous with each other's names, Giant Man and the Wasp. Yeah, even if it was just the Wasp, it would have been a lot cooler. It would have made the price a little bit higher. I think, yeah, it's while as I'm shocked no Wasp is about. I'm not too fussed about not getting any extra figures.
No, I agree. I was like, oh, really? There's no figures, but then I kind of did go over it quite quick when I saw the price, and I worked out, okay, that's why there's no figures. We are purely just focusing on what the Haslab is actually about. It's the actual product itself, rather than having to worry about additional add-ons. So again, like with the tiers, like bringing the tiers into this, so the tiers are, if I just show them quickly here, if I can scroll down, so the tiers are going to be some heads. So we've got a faceplate to start with, at least. So we've got a zombie faceplate to start with. You want to make a zombie version, but again, he's probably not really in the right outfit for a zombie. And then the scroll version, and again, he's not in the right version for a scroll version. But they're just sort of additional add-ons that I don't think people are going to be that bothered if they make or not. So they're probably not going to add anything to the campaign in terms of adding backers. You are going to purely have to, well, in my opinion at least, you're going to have to purely want this for the actual base offering of Giant Man, or you're not going to want it. I don't think these tiers are going to add anything. So if it does start struggling with numbers, I don't think this is going to help things. But it's just that price point, isn't it? It's getting it under. The fact they can actually say it's under $200, I think is going to be the big selling point after last year. But I did get over the figure thing quick, but if it is going to increase the price, then okay, we'll stick with what we got.
There's nothing left to talk about. Like, they've said, I think Mike Hex asked Steve, is there any more tiers? He's like, no, this is it. And they're fairly, like with the Rancor, when Haslab did that, they brought out the first two tiers and people were like, these are shit. Like, it really bit them on the ass.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I think for me, not having the figures takes out some of the fun of it. Like now, it's like I've backed it. It might as well be a retail release. My interest died.
That is a good point. Talking about a retail release, like talking about the Jabbers or the Boba Fett phone room, that was more expensive than this was. That was 220. So yes. This doesn't really need to be a Haslab at this price point. It could have just gone straight to retail. I am almost thinking about it like it is just a pre-order I've put in, but unfortunately one I've got to pay for up front rather than waiting, because it does just seem like a straight pre-order. You haven't got to think about the figures, so that does take away, as Dom said there, some of the excitement. I used to like watching the counter go up and going to make these figures, but I don't think anyone's really going to be that bothered. Correct me if I'm wrong. Is anybody going to be bothered if we don't get these two heads?
As long as it backs.
Yeah. Go on, Tom.
I like the scroll head, but I'm never going to use it. So you're just going to shove it in the cupboard and then that's it done. But other than that, I'm not too bothered.
No, you're building up quite the collection in that cupboard, same as me. What have I got a Tri Sentinel, I've got a Doctor Doom. I'll have these two. I do like the scroll head. I do like the scroll head, but to be honest, I ain't gonna use it. So it is literally gonna sit in the box. Maybe for a toy photographer, you can take a few shots and then switch it back, but it's not gonna. It ain't gonna. But it does. Yeah, it does take away some of the excitement from the campaign. I think. I think Mark's back. I've got to scroll down and let him in.
Hi, everybody.
Are you with us, Mark? Hello.
I am. Sorry,
welcome back,
Craig,
Mark.
I totally missed. Apologize. I missed. Hi, everyone. Hi. I think I need.
Could you hear us in the waiting room?
My technology over here to keep me on. I could. I was in the.
Could you hear us?
I could hear everything
you could.
going on. I'm here now. I could hear you. Yeah. Yeah. I'm back. I need to help me out with my technology because yeah.
Having one of those.
Right,
I don't
yes.
think it's StreamYard. I don't think StreamYard is a massive fan of iPhones. It does say that in the user guide for some reason.
That must be what
it doesn't like it.
Yeah, that could be what it is. Yeah, I'm on an iPhone.
That's why I was late.
Until Dan can teach me how to use a Stream, whatever he uses, Streamlabs, then we're stuck with old StreamYard here. So we were just discussing, Mark, about the lack of figures. Are you bothered about the head? So are you bothered about head? And do you care about the lack of figures?
Well, yeah. Well, I do like the heads. I do like the head. I do like both heads actually. But I would like a wasp. I think a wasp figure would be nice in the base offering, or maybe a regular sized Hank Pym. You know, like a regular sized giant man. You know, depowered would be quite good as well. But I mean, maybe I understand what they were saying about how they want to release figures, you know, so they're at retail as well. But I do think a wasp would be nice. But I guess that could be down that maybe release something. I guess the impression the rest of them aren't going to be figures, but who knows? I do actually like the heads. Yeah.
Yeah. Do you? Kind of the next part I was going to go on to is: do you think does anybody think there'll be a third tier? Because surely, if it goes really well, and we get to it goes really well, and we're in the 20,000, surely they're going to give us something else. But if I know they have kind of said no, there won't be any figures. Would they change that if it goes really well and chuck a figure in? Or I don't know what if there is a third tier, which I do think. I know they said there won't be a third tier, but I think they're lying, and I think there will be a third tier. And I think it might. I think it might just be something like a mini Ant-Man or a mini Wasp that I think Tanner was mentioned. I think they might give us just some mini things like they did with the extra tentacle on the Sentinel, just something small as a little bonus if it does really well. If they don't want to actually give us figures, because I can't think for the life of me, apart from a mini version of Ant-Man and Wasp, what they could give us.
I have a feeling they won't, because for the price point, yes, we haven't got the figure. But look at Giant Man himself. They could have just done a suit. They could have just done a gloss red on it, but instead they've added a texture a different texture to the boots and the gloves and the pants, a different texture to the red in the suit, and they've also done obviously this new feature with the eyes. And then I just noticed in one of the pictures, if you ever take a close look at his boot, they've done a boot tread in his boot, and it's the Pym Laboratories logo, the Particles logo, in the middle of the boot. I don't know if it was on the promo art, but I don't know if it's on the actual figure, but it looked like it is. If you look inside, it looks like the hexagon boot print.
Right. Let's see if we can get a close up on the boots. They've added in ones I did forget. They've added in toe articulation.
That's cool.
And he is completely pinless. That's a decent pose. You can get him in down there on the one.
So
look at his waving little face there.
For the money, we've got the value in the Giant Man itself. With obviously, how many Marvel Legends do we get like a texture to the suits. We don't. They normally just paint a gloss paint suit. You know, like they kick off about the Spider-Mans and they don't do textures with them. But they've done it with this giant man. They've given him a suit where it looks more realistic. It looks like a suit that you would actually wear, not like a lycra suit, like a Power Ranger sort of thing. So I think that's why I think they won't add another tier, because
But
in
adding a
their
texture
eyes,
doesn't actually cost them any more money, because that's just the mould. So I don't think that
I
was.
suppose.
Yeah,
but that's where they go on, Jay. Sorry.
But I suppose, as Tom was saying, yeah, I suppose they just have to, once they digitally, I guess they do these digital files, and then they'll just have to put little indents in the mold, as Tom was saying. So I can't imagine I wouldn't think that would increase the price. But I was just thinking, I don't think we'll get, if it doesn't do like gangbusters really quick, I don't think we will get a third tier. But I was just thinking, if it did really, really well, and it did well early, then I think they would be, I don't know, almost forced to do something, give us a.
They only normally change when things are going bad.
Yeah. Oh, again, yeah, because of course, like with the Rancor, we had the last minute panic, didn't we, of the Rancor keeper. That,
yeah, and the Engine of Vengeance, they moved to the guy faster than that.
Yeah, they did. They did, didn't they? There was but Mattel didn't do a lot for the crowdfunds. They didn't move anything for Jurassic. Though they did move stuff for Jurassic Park, didn't they? Actually, and they moved. So I suppose that could be a strategy, isn't it? I know everyone says, "Oh, you've won it, you might as well back it now and let's get it going." But then you've got the opposite strategy to think of. Actually, okay, I do want it, but let's not back it. Let's make it go really bad, and let's see if they will chuck anything in. So they almost.
I think it was Ryan Ting said that they don't. One reason they don't show you all the stretch goals up front is because it takes away any flexibility they got. So if they say, right, this is at 12k, this is at 14k, this is at 18k, and it just absolutely tanks, they can then turn and say, actually, this was at 10, this is at 11, and this is at 12.
Yeah, no, that's a good point, that they can give themselves some flexibility by not showing everything. So we will see, I suppose, on a third tier whether that will be something we could be getting. But how is it going for backer numbers then? Let's do a quick refresh. So it's been live since 4 o'clock in the UK. That was 6 hours ago, and we're at 2,536. So it's going quite well, but it's not going as fast as GI Joe was going, because GI Joe probably did about 4,000 odd by now. But those GI Joe ones do go really quick. But for Marvel, I think it's already a quarter of the way there, isn't it? It's a quarter funded in 6 hours. So if we can, I don't know, probably maybe get to 4,000 by tomorrow, then it'll probably slow down for quite a while. But so the question is, I was going to ask is, do you think it will actually get backed? So I'm going to lock in for yes. I think it'll easily get backed at 10k. But we'll go to Tanner. Do you think it's going to make it, or have we got another failure on our hands?
I mean, the Marvel team needs a win. I think the price shows that. I think we're going to get this backed. Whether or not we'll get all the faceplates is another question, but I think this will back.
Yeah. So Tanner's in. That's 2 for backing. Dom, what do you think? You think this is going to?
Yeah, 100% will back.
Yeah, he's in there. Craig?
I think it'll get backed, but we've got to be careful, because if the other two faceplates and the head for the scroll doesn't back, people will back out of buying 2 if they was thinking of buying 2 to have this one with scroll and one normal giant man. So, you know, it could go either ways, couldn't it, really?
Yeah, no, that's the point. Yeah, because people may be buying. No, some people have said they're buying 2 or 3 to use all the faceplates. So if it didn't reach those tiers, then they would pull out and it would go down. But I think we're all right. Tom, are you confident we're going to get this giant man?
It's looking all right at the moment, isn't it? I'd be, if it went the other way, I'd be kind of surprised. But it's kind of where it is this time tomorrow, isn't it? And it's not racing.
Yeah, no, it's not.
I always find it's not the evening in the US yet, so it may jump loads overnight. I'd say it will, but if it's not past 5,000 by, you know, Sunday morning, then I think we're in for a tough month, or however, tough 45 days.
Yeah, no, because there does seem to be a campaign, like a thing with these campaigns. You get the first 2 days, yeah, you get your big numbers, and then literally nothing happens for like 4 weeks, does it? Until the last 2 or 3 days, when it's the same as the first 2 or 3 days. And I don't know. I don't know if they could shorten the window, but or I don't know. I don't know how they really fix that problem. Apart from anybody, come on, there's any marketers in here. How would you fix that problem?
Well, they've got no early bird on this one. They normally put like the early bird, so you get in within the first 7 days. If it hit X number, you get like a repainted Cobra Tech, for example.
Yeah,
that's a double-edged sword.
Yeah.
That's a double-edged sword, because if you look at what happened with the Engine of Vengeance, where they offered the early bird, as soon as that didn't back, everybody started pulling out because they're losing money on that. So again, you got to be sure whether or not that will entice people to buy it.
Yeah, you do. It is a double-edged sword, isn't it? Because it was a complete cock-up with Robbie Reyes, but then the early bird for the way back to Mattel for the new generation arena, the Macho Man Randy Savage early bird, completely saved the campaign because that was going nowhere. So there is, I think the only thing they can do is give you something else in the middle of the campaign, maybe to sort of G us up a bit there. Any thoughts on that, Mark?
Yeah, I think it will back. I agree with what everyone said. I think it will back. I think the price is good. I think the people, I'm going to say something that I don't know if it's a bit controversial, but I think the people that always are the naysaying or the, negative collectors, should we say, in the comments things, I don't think they back it anyway. They just want to throw their 2 cents in. When you open the chat and you see all the people who are saying, oh, it should be a different price, it should be lower, or complaining and things, they're probably not going to back it anyway. So I don't think those people are going to make a difference to. They probably weren't intending to back it. They just wanted to complain or bring up their opinion about it, but which they're entitled to. Just to in case anyone's watching who it feels that way, they're entitled to, of course. But I think it will back. I think everyone who wants this will back it. Like what everyone said, I think it's a good price. I agree with what Craig said. I like the paint on the figure. I think they've done it. It looks like a really nicely done Marvel Legend, doesn't it? It kind of looks like a bigger, really nicely done Legend with all the bells and whistles. I kind of can see both sides of the argument, because I do think maybe just the finishing touch would have been a figure, maybe like a version of Wasp that you are not going to get like in release. So you get the same figure at retail, maybe in a different color costume or something like that. Just might have been icing on the cake, but I think it will.
Yeah, we'll have to see if that will be to come. That could be, I was saying, a really good reward for those people backing it, or it could be panic stations, I think, if Don was saying there. So they might give us something. So we will have to find out on that one. I believe we have a super chat, ladies and gentlemen. So it's popped up green on my screen. So thank you to Damien Ristori there for the £5 super chat. And he has said, with the pattern they've gone, wouldn't be surprised if next year's offering is a giant apocalypse. We will see. Now, Damien, that is a good idea. I used to have the Apocalypse from Toy Biz, but he was sold many years ago, so I wouldn't say no to a giant Apocalypse. But that's a very good segue there, Damien. You've read my mind. I'm just going to have a quick bit of wild speculation that Damien was prompted there. So for next year, he has gone for a giant Galactus. But I was struggling to think, okay, I think the 3 I always thought of off the top were Galactus, Sentinel, and Giant Man. They were the big figures that I would think of that they would do. And the success of the first 2, I thought Giant Man would have been last year, to be honest. And then Damien was brought up. Apocalypse maybe is a big character. So has anybody got any thoughts? What on earth could next year's Haslab be? Let's have a bit of wild speculation for a minute, because I really, till Damien prompted me there, I have not got a Scooby what they could do next time. I've completely run out of characters. Has anybody got an idea?
Celestial.
Oh, okay, yeah.
King Phantom.
That's okay. Maybe it's just me not thinking of things. So we got Damien. With
Maybe they try a vehicle and go with the Punisher van.
Oh,
yeah, I'd say that.
Okay. Oh, yeah, I know Tom had mentioned that before, and you about a Punisher van. Okay, so we got Punisher van.
I don't think they'd ever do that, though. I think it's too they hardly ever seem to do Punisher figures nowadays, and it feels like it's in a risky spot with the Vengeance. Maybe slightly less so, but I just can't see them doing a Punisher van as much as I'd love them to.
Yeah, Mike X in the chat here is he's gone outrageous. You've got a Quinjet and an X-Jet, an X-Men Blackbird or anything. My God, that'd be about $2,000, I would think.
Or I just had another idea. So I'm not sure if you've read Spider-Verse or the Japanese Spider-Man's Spider-Mech for Leopardon.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Okay, Leopardon. Okay, but
Living Tribunal. Is it Tribunal?
Okay. Well, there's
With the
There's
three
a lot of
heads.
ideas out there. Then I was just being blank. But what's Abnugler's in the chat? He's gone anything new there from Agnubber? He's gone Fing Fang Foom on Big Onslaught. They could do a fancy sort of monster version of Onslaught. That would be cool. Okay, so there's definite ideas out there then at least. So that was good. So we will find out in a year's time. But I suppose they're getting into more obscure things like a Celestial or say Living Tribunal. Would they be things that would actually back? I don't know. So we've got a whole year, I suppose, to ponder on that one. So really, if we sort of wrap up Giant Man, then I'm just going to really ask and go around and go final thoughts on Giant Man, summarizing everything, and are you backing? So let's get some confirmation. Who is backing? Who is not bocking? Words are going wrong again. So I am backing. I was back at number 569. No filth in the chats, but I was 569. I backed it at 4:30 today. So with that price point, I couldn't resist. I wasn't really that excited for Giant Man until a few weeks ago when I started getting in my Mafex figures. So I've got the Mafex Thor and the Mafex Iron Man. I've got the Mafex Captain America on pre-order. And behind them, I've got a poster of Avengers issue 4, I think, when Captain America returns to the team. And it's got a big Giant Man in there. And it made me think, I think this could go with my Mafex figures rather than my Marvel Legends, thinking this would be like a higher quality of plastic and would look sort of good with that collection. And I've got on that shelf already, it was already made. I didn't have to make this today. I have a 27-inch gap on that shelf. So when this bad boy popped in at 24 inches and for less than £200, yeah, I was like, I am all in on this. I wanted a classic look because that would go with my classic Avengers team from Mafex. So I couldn't have been more happy, really. So I backed straight away and was quite happy with my £199 purchase. So that is my final thoughts on Giant Man. Tanner, let's come to you then. Final thoughts, and are you backing?
So final thoughts, very good price, very good product. Would I have liked like a wasp in there? Yes. And I'm so glad that the end of this project falls on the 23rd, which is payday for me. So if I do back, I don't have to worry about it purely because I get paid and then it will go straight out. So yeah, then I can just budget around that once it happens. So chances are I probably will end up back in, and just waiting to see what happens.
Yeah, that's a good point about when it comes out there. It's the fact they take PayPal credit as well. I did notice. So public service announcement: if you need to use PayPal credit, that is available on this one. And for people that are new to it, I suppose if I was giving a public service announcement here, you don't get charged to the end. So unlike Mattel Creations that decided to charge me straight away for something it didn't even back, and I had to wait ages for a refund, Hasbro do not do that. So you will not get charged until the last day, regardless if you back it now or then. So if you do want to back it, feel free. So that's two pretty much in. Dom, are you in on this one?
Yeah, already backed it. Tanner said it's a really good product. Only slight negative is I think they played it too safe.
Yeah, they've definitely played it safe, but I think the fear of the Engines of Vengeance 2.0 has got to them, and they have played it safe. But overall, yeah, I'm okay with it. So Dom's in. Craig, I believe I've seen Craig's receipt for this, so I believe you are a backer, Craig.
Yeah, I backed it just before this stream. I just second everything Tanner says. It's just good for the value, and like I say, I've never had a Giant Man on my shelf, so he will make a great addition in my Avengers shelf. So he will pop amongst the colours of golds and reds, and you've got the green with the Hulk and Black Widow in the grey, and it's just going to pop on the shelf. So, but I will probably be changing my shelves once he's backed, not any sooner, Jay.
Okay, that's very sensible of you, Craig. But you have to do a lot of shelf changes in that room, Craig, with your Dragonfly coming. You've got this coming. You'll be a.
I've already started trying to figure out what I'm going to do with the GI Joe shelf. Don't even start, Jay.
You'll have to do a crossover. You have to get Giant Man holding the Haslab Dragonfly there, and some sort of
That's an
Marvel
idea.
versus GI Joe battle. Right, so Craig's in as well. Tom, I don't know if Tom is in or out on this one. So he is a man that likes his cupboards.
Quarter past 4, I was in.
Well, okay. So Tom is in. He was the first of us all, I think, then to go in on it. So have you got the space though? What?
Yeah, I've got the space. I just have to. The cupboard is like 50 centimeters wide, so I've got to sacrifice a hole. I've got to cut a hole in the shelf basically. So sacrifice probably a display below to some degree, so it's standing on the shelf and then popping up amongst the Avengers.
Yeah, no, I can go with cutting a hole in your shelf. I did the same thing for Galactus and the Sentinel, so it's in the DTOF, but I bought online like a custom sort of half-size glass shelf. So I've just got an acrylic shelf that's half-size, so it stands in front of the Galactus and the Sentinel, so you can get some figures in there as well, and then they take up sort of 2 DTOF cubes there. Before we go to Mark...
I did exactly the same with Galactus and the Sentinel.
Yeah.
By the way, I didn't watch the whole presentation. Did they say if the knees are ratcheted?
Now, if I was paying attention to them speaking, I may be able to answer your question, but because I was eating a tub of ice cream at the time, because I was sweating my tits off, wasn't really fully listening, so I do not know. So can anybody else help us out? Have they ratcheted the knees? Anybody know?
I don't think there was any mention of it. When I rewatched it.
I think Craig's right. I don't think there was. Yeah.
Okay. Right.
Yeah.
Well, let's hope they are ratcheted then. But
they just mentioned how many points of articulation there was and kept going over how many points there is, but they never told you what the articulation was.
Okay. So we might have a potential contentious point then if it isn't, because it does just look like it's the supersized one of the newer sort of Marvel Legends bodies, just upscaled, isn't it? Because you've got the same sort of articulation. Yeah. So they wouldn't be ratcheted, but let's hope. Hasbro, if you're watching Hasbro, you're probably not, but if you ratcheted the knees, we would like to know. I was eating ice cream, but we think it's a no. So please say he stands up, because I'm going to have him on top of the cabinet. So if this fella falls over, I'm in serious shit. So he better have ratcheted knees, is all I can say on that one. Before I get to Mark, I just saw a good idea here from Rich M. Devil Dinosaur, maybe anybody want a Devil Dinosaur, or maybe a Venomized version of Devil Dinosaur? That could be a potential project. But you could just, for a lot cheaper, get one of the Mattel giant T-Rexes at like 40 quid and paint the thing. But right then, Mark. So now Mark is mainly a G.I. Joe enthusiast, I would say, would be his passion. But are you going to go in for this? Are you going to do a crossover? Are you in for this? Final thoughts, Mark, on close us out on Giant Man.
Final thoughts. Yeah, final thoughts, Jake. I'm going to be the other one out on the stream here. I'm not going to back it. I'm going to enjoy it from the sidelines and when Legends and watching at least 5 giant men be shown, and obviously more. But I do think it's a good price. I do think it's a really good price. I think it's good value. I think the paint apps are really good. I think I've noticed it. I felt I was noticed odd things, or maybe things in the stream, and I felt like when Dwight was talking about the engine, because I do customizing and stuff, when he was talking about how he painted the eyes, I was focusing on stuff like that. And then I like the zombie head. I really like the Skrull head, because I just like quirky things like that maybe give it different options. But I do at the same time I see that probably, and like Tanner said, mentioned yourself, the Wasp would probably be a great choice. I think it's good. I do think it's good, and I think it'll be a great addition to the Avengers team that they're focused on the Avengers year with the anniversary and everything. I think it'd be a great addition to the team. So if Legends were my main line, I'd be in for this, I think.
Yeah. So we are 5 for 6 then that I believe are probably going to be back in this one. So that's much better, I think, than last year's Engines of Vengeance. So maybe Hasbro are onto a winner here with a good price point, a basic offering. I think to summarise, yes, we would have liked at least one figure. We're all quite happy reasonably with the price. We think the Giant Man himself is pretty good. And yeah, not a bad one. I'd like to say hello to Cloud. She just popped in, so hello to Cloud Foxwell. And Mike Hex is already on the case. I'm assuming Mike is going to ask Hasbro about the ratcheted needs. Now, this man has more sources than I've ever seen. He can speak to anybody. He's got the inside scoop. So answer to come. So we will wait for Mike Hex to get the full answer on that one. We may have even got it here. It's a safe bet on ratcheted knees. So we don't know if that's Mike's speculation or the Hasbro have confirmed that there. And I don't know what else is going on. Looks like Damien and Rich are having a little chat about animation there. So overall, it's not a shit show as it turned into last year. So that's a bonus. So we've got 105 years we discovered of collecting experience on the stream. And we've had a civil debate, ladies and gentlemen. Nobody has gone absolutely crazy on this one. So it's much better than last year, I think. So we will see if the rest of the community follows suit on any further live streams to come. But this is called This Week in Toys, and there has been more than one thing announced this week. So I'm going to move over to Mattel because they have also put out a survey for another potential crowd fund. So we're just going to have a quick, before we get out of here, we're going to have a quick few minutes over at Mattel. So let's share this tab instead. And we will have a look here. So now, if you haven't heard of this, they have sent out a survey. So I think you can find it on their Instagram. So they are talking about Masters of the Universe. I know we've got a few Masters of the Universe collectors alongside me here, as well as myself. That's got quite a lot of He-Man products. So they are letting us vote. So you've got till Sunday, the 10th of September at 11:59 p.m. to cast your vote. Now, I've already casted my vote. Whether I can vote again, I don't know. But they've given us 5 options of what we potentially would like to see for a future crowdfunding project. Now, the first thing with Mattel is they terribly overprice these things for UK collectors because they do not convert it right at all. And I think the previous Eternia set was like about £800 when they converted it. So that was I think we have one man here that may have got it. Dom, I'm looking at you, son. Are you an Eternia?
It wasn't me. It was Drunk Dom.
It was. It's your alternative. It's your variant. So there's a lesson to you all. There's a lesson to you collective. Got 105 years experience. Don't buy toys when you're drunk. So I haven't had a drink in about 10 years, so I'm okay with that one. But yeah, that's
the last time I bought toys while I was drinking, I picked up those 3-0 Michael Bay Tails, 3 of the 4 of them. And because of my OCD, I had to find the final one and get Bebop on Rocksteady as well. So that just ended up being a lot more expensive than I wanted it to be.
Bill. I was saying Dom's purchase there of around £800. It's got to be the biggest drunk purchase of all time. But Tanner, adding all those together, you're probably in the same ballpark. Has anybody spent more than that while drunk? Come on, confession time live on the stream. There was
We're just talking about on toys or generally.
Oh, well, I was just talking about toys, but
well, we're going into something different there.
Indeed. Right, back on track. Let's get back on track from our drunk purchases. So yeah, you can vote for 2 of these things. What would you like to see? So we've got like almost a Filmation version of the attack track, it looks like. So you get a big one and a little one coming out of it. You've got the Doom Tower, which almost looks like a Hordak's house to me, something along those lines. I think they might have made it up. We'll find out in a minute. We've got the Fright Zone, so a classic Motu play set there, the Fright Zone with some updates. We've got the Horde Crawler tank that, again, I think they've made this one up. And it's got a giant Hordak head on. And we have got the Snake Lair. So there's like a castle with all the snakes on for all your snake men and snake ladies that we're currently getting. So you can vote on 2 of these. So I'll tell you what I voted for. So I voted for the Fright Zone classic playset. Would love to have a modern version. For me, it's not too tall, which is good because I've only really got room in my collection for Castle Grayskull and the hopefully shipping soon Snake Mountain. So something a bit longer and flatter would suit me lovely. And I also voted for, what did I vote? It's my second vote. Oh dear, I don't know. I think I voted for the Doom Tower actually, which is probably too tall. Probably should have voted for the attack track, but I think I voted for the Doom Tower. So we'll go round and see if anybody has any interest in any of these projects at all. We'll start with Tanner, who I don't think is a Motu collector, so this may be a quick one.
Yeah, I'm not a Motu collector, so I haven't got a dog in this race, but I like the fact that they've given options to the fans to pick what they want as a what's it called? A Kickstarter.
Yeah, no, that's a good point there. Maybe this is something Hasbro could learn. We've had a full debate tonight about what could be next year. Ryan Ting did say on the stream they have not decided what next year's Haslab is going to be. So maybe they could survey the fans. That might not be a bad idea. Now we're going to go over to Dom then, who clearly, drunk or sober, is a big Motu guy. Have you voted what you like, what don't you like?
I voted for the Fright Zone straight away.
Yeah.
Again, that's classic Motu. It's something I loved as a kid. And to get that puppet, the puppet was originally like a PVC puppet.
Yeah.
I've still got one, and it's in a Ziploc bag, and I change the water out every 6 months because it's the only way to keep the thing from cracking. The Fright Zone's awesome. I love that thing.
Yeah.
As far as follow-up, the attack track's going to be too big for what it is. The Crawler tanks from an episode of She-Ra.
Oh, right, okay, so they didn't make that. That is actually in a...
That's a Filmation thing.
Right, okay.
The Snake Layer is something new they came up from with Classics. So that's, I voted for that as my follow-up because it's something that would possibly have come out in the line. You can kind of see it working.
Yeah.
To be honest, all I really care about from that lot's the Fright Zone. I thought it was kind of weird they didn't bring out like the Crystal Castle from She-Ra, or there was a massive Diplodocus from Preternia that never got made.
Yeah, the big dinosaur. Yeah, I remember discussing that with Adam last week, saying the big
awesome.
Dinosaur could be a thing.
So yeah, Fright Zone for me. Snake Castle thing as a follow-up.
Yeah. Okay, so Fright Zone. Yeah, I didn't know they'd have to do a crowdfund on the Fright Zone. It shouldn't be that big, but again, maybe it'd be a cheaper version of a crowdfund that we've learned from Hasbro today. There are possibilities of cheaper ones, so I wouldn't argue with that. So some good choices there from Dom. He has educated me to where some of these have come from. Craig, now Craig here, and I have no idea if Craig is a He-Man person or not. Do you like a nice buff male, Craig?
Why do you put
Speechless,
it like
ladies
that,
and gentlemen. Absolutely speechless.
No. I'm just like, why? You're just as bad as Dan and these Greg sausage rolls. That just randomly popped up. I was like, where do you get this info? But no, He-Man passed me. I was a lot older. I was in the 90s, and when I revisited anything from the 80s, it was Transformers and G.I. Joe. That's what was passed on. He-Man wasn't such a thing to me, but say that I have been recently looking at the new Eternia stuff, the Masterverse stuff, and I do like the look of the designs of the actual characters. So, but yeah, it just passes me by. So don't ask me anything on He-Man because I won't have a clue.
We will move swiftly on then. So Damien in the chat absolutely would love a Horde Crawler there. Tack track for his second. Mike Hex looks like he could be in on the tack track as well. Anybody else in the chat having a He-Man discussion? While I have a look, we'll go to Tom then, who at the moment is on a absolute massive Masters of the Universe kick. He's decided to, by the looks of it, backtrack and try and catch up with all the Origins figures there from the original line. So while we're talking Origins, anybody can hook me up with a Moss Man potentially, or a Thunder Punch He-Man? That thing is absolutely, I can't find it anywhere, and I love Thunder Punch He-Man. So anybody got any links, let me know where I can find those. But we'll go to Tom. I'm sure you voted. What did you vote for?
I voted Snake Layer and Fright Zone, but I wouldn't mind the attack track either. I mean, I think Fright Zone would probably fit better for me because the snake layer looks going to be like Castle of Grayskull size again, isn't it? Which it's the height that's going to do me in on that. I think I won't say no to it. The attack track would be massive though, because there's a drawing where it's got the normal size coming out the back of it. So I don't even get how the seats are in scale in the front, because you how big the seat must be on the attack track coming out the back. Those seats in the front should be tiny.
Yeah, I guess these are just their quick sort of mock-up drawings. So they'd have to maybe go back to the drawing board to some of these if they actually do get voted. But I can see the Fright Zone absolutely surely winning this, because it is just the most classic thing there. And I don't know, I've heard a lot of people in the community quite excited about the attack track, so it wouldn't surprise me if this is the second thing. But it looks like it'd be the whole size of my bloody shelf, which wouldn't be much use at all. But we will have to wait and see.
What is the figure scale?
They're 5.5 inch for the Origins. Assuming these are actually Origins and not stuff for Masterverse, does it actually say that they're actually Origins, or have I made that up?
I think they are. It said at the top.
Attack track was coming out the back. The vintage scales one, which is probably the same size figures, was about 10 inches long and about 5 inches wide.
Right.
And that's just the little thing coming out the back.
That's the thing coming out the back on the little tail lift at the back. So this thing would be ridiculously big. So yeah, let's maybe not do this one, Mattel. Let's go with some of the other place options, because this thing is absolutely massive. Rich is talking about the Crystal Castle, which I was again surprised to not see the Crystal Castle in there. I'm sure he would love Rich has got a big She-Ra collection, I do believe, so Crystal Castle would go very nicely.
They haven't really done any She-Ra figures, have they? Other than She-Ra is the only one they've done.
Well, they've done some of the Horde from.
Yeah, they've done the Horde, but they haven't done.
Not any of the good guy characters, have they? No, we haven't had Bo or the little witch lady, whatever her name is. I can't remember. But there you go. Experts here. I get these people on more often, ladies and gentlemen. They just fill my gaps when I can't remember the words that I'm trying to say. So, Mark, we'll come to you now. You've got a buff man in your collection I've seen before. So, what would you be voting for here?
Well, Jay, I've been waiting to say this because I was thinking it was going. Tac likes the attack track. No, yeah, I do think that looks good. I like the Horde tank as well. I like them sort of both. So yeah, those are my picks.
Very nice. Oh, that's gonna have to be a whole video, Mark. I don't believe I've seen a tac on a track chat, Mark. Now do go subscribe to Mark. He did drop a video earlier, but he dropped a video at the exact same time the Haslab launched. It was a bit of a rookie error.
It was a schoolboy error. Yes. Yeah.
It did make me laugh. Now Rich is going off on me now for my poor She-Ra knowledge. Now I named Bo because I've got a figure of Bo, so it's somebody I knew. So that's why Bo's in there, because I've got his version in Masters of the Universe Classics. So apart from Man at Arms, I've nearly got a full collection of classics. So or for the Filmation style stuff. Now I've been hunting that down over the last year or so. There you go, Froster Glimmer, Mr. Nia Tosser. What? I can't read these words, and of course, it's turning into an utter farce here at 10:30 in the evening, as you can tell, as it usually does on these streams. But I haven't kicked myself out the stream this week, which is a bonus. So yeah, quite a lot of He-Man fans then here we have discovered. So we will see what comes of this from Mattel. And just one final bit of news before we get out of here. I just wanted to share this one I've just seen. There is going to be another Goliath from NECA. So I'm a big Gargoyles fan, and there is going to be this exclusive version of a cel-shaded gaming version of Goliath, because they are re-releasing the Sega Mega Drive, or the Sega Genesis, if you're across the pond, version of the game. So it's coming out on the Switch, the PS4, and the Xbox One. So a game I never played. Didn't know this was actually a game when I was a kid. I've heard it's a ridiculously hard game to play. So I'm looking forward to getting the game. I don't think I'll be on this $175 deluxe edition. But if you do want an exclusive version of Goliath, there is one available. Any Gargoyles fans here with me? And this one, I do not know the answer. Anybody collect Gargoyles? Dom's in there.
I am a fan. but I haven't collected any of them purely because of them being just all in the US, and it wasn't a line that I wanted to spend loads of money on just to have them on my shelf. Maybe if I find a Goliath, if I ever find a Goliath going on eBay, I'll probably pick him up. But yeah.
It is hard to get over in the UK.
Yeah.
Cloud said it was a frustrating game. I know one of Cloud's friends is one of the sculptors, I do believe, on does some of the sculpts for the gargoyles there. So it's a really good line from NECA, but it's so hard to get over in the UK. It is unfortunately, it's a full import job. So I must do a video soon because I've actually finally unboxed them all and they are on display. So that is probably something I need to get round to doing. So that is available. So we'll just finish and say
Which
goodbye.
one's your favourite, Jay?
Which one is my favourite gargoyle? That is easy, Mark. I can answer that. That is Hudson. Hudson is my favourite gargoyle. I've always liked his sort of. He's an old grumpy fella, big belly. I had a figure of him as a kid, and used to squeeze his legs, and his wings would flap. So his arm would go with his little sword, I should say. So I was always a massive fan of gargoyles when I was growing up. So. Very nice to see those. So, ladies and gentlemen, I think we've been going now for 1 hour and 33 minutes, and I've still had no dinner as usual on the Friday night. I've sweated. How's everybody else's temperature? Everybody else dripping over here? At least we're on smaller screens, so they can't see us.
I'm sopping.
We sweat. Craig is sopping, isn't that? That's a lovely image to leave you all with. So, in summary, we're pretty much nearly all in on Giant Man. We're all quite happy. And we've been collecting from 105 years between us, which is the fact I've taken from this live stream. So let me just see if I can do this different screen. There you are. Look, we're all back on the big screen now, and we can all say goodbye. So I'd like to say thank you to everybody for coming on. Thank you for the chat, for watching, and it's been another week of toys and quite a successful Haslab so far. So I have been Jay, and we will go around the board, and everybody can say goodbye and any final thoughts. So Tanner, kick us off.
Yeah, good Haslab kickoff. Hopefully it does back. Interesting week of toys, of news, of everything, and yeah, that's pretty much all I'm going to leave at. Interesting week, and it's been good to chat with you guys.
Thank you. Where can we follow you online? Got any wood?
I do have some wood. So Instagram, SuperTurk5000. And also on YouTube as part of the Dan Hood Network. This is what you've been waiting for, Jay. My wood for turtles and tea. I don't know when the next one is planned. Go and watch a couple of the old ones. They're really good talks. And we really need to get together to discuss that bleeding the layer. Yeah, 2003 as well, and the layer. Yeah, we've discussed that privately, but not publicly.
I will say on the turtle layer, ladies and gentlemen, I have stood strong, and I did. After all my ranting, I did not back the turtle layer, so I stayed strong, and I've got my cardboard. So yes, applaud. Thank you, Craig. That is a thing. I managed to save some money at least, and then this came in at quite a decent price, and I sold some wrestling figures this morning for quite a bit of change. So that was marvelous. So we're doing okay. The toys are funding the toys, so that is good. So Dom, where can we find you online? I hope you've enjoyed your first time here with us.
Thanks for having me. Yeah, Dom Blank on Instagram, occasionally on Dan Who. Final thoughts. If Hasbro, if you're watching this, for Christ's sake, don't forget Danny Ketch. Ghost Rider deserves a proper anniversary figure with a bike.
Yep, we need Danny Ketch. That was Dom. Let's go down to Craig. So there is Craig. Where can we find Craig?
Yep, you can find me on Instagram, craigs.nostalgic.collection. And then you can find me on Legends and Liquor every other Sunday when I can make it. And Dan Who Extra when I can make that as well. And then whenever you want me back, Jay. And it's been a pleasure to talk to you all again.
There you are. I'll put Craig in the diary at some point, Craig, on the list. So, Tom, where can we find you, good sir?
Well, first, I just want to say, well done for holding strong on the turtle layer. Clearly, Tanner and Dan are utter neck and shields by the sound.
I have nothing to say. I have nothing to say to that comment. I have no recollection of the event in question, thereby it never happens. That's my official comment.
Is a Tesla miraculously going to appear in a few months' time in your own?
Maybe it will, maybe it won't. Who knows?
Can I borrow one, somebody? Am I the only bugger here that's actually stayed strong? I'm going to sit with my cardboard in the corner. Where can we find you online, Tom?
How many Plastic Multiverse on Instagram and on Joe's and Juice with Mark and Dan from time to time. And on the Liquor this Sunday.
Oh, yes. So, yeah, of course, Legends Liquor on the Dan Who Network. Of course, I'm a little sort of spin-off live stream. Dan challenged me to go live as much as I could once I hit 1,000 subscribers. So we're up to at least episode 8 now. So I am so bloody hot. I'm literally dripping here, lads. This is like... It's supposed to get hotter tomorrow as well, apparently. It's going to be like 32 degrees or something here. So I've already got collapses in the toy room. Hawkeye, has, on his bloody Sky Cycle, has been here for 2 days. He's fallen off and taken out about 40 figures underneath him. So that'll be fun to pick up.
Mine's still standing,
is it?
Luckily. Yeah, he's still on there with Mockingbird.
It might go tomorrow in this seat. And finally, Mark. Plug your YouTube, Mark. There was a...
Thanks, Jay. Yeah, thanks everyone. Like Craig, it's a pleasure to talk to everyone as always. Final thoughts. Like, Lab looks good. Good week of toy news as always. And as I say here, to find me on YouTube and Joe's and Juice with Tom and Dan, and here as well, Jay. Every so often with you and Legends Liquor, of course. And that's where you can find me on.
Thank you, Mark. So, Mark, yes, go give him a follow, of course, on Tac Toys for Film. Thank you to the chat. Thank you, Damien. He's talking about his extreme set. I did enable Damien there with some extreme sets. He's gone in for some of that cardboard. Abnugler and Rich have been fighting it out in the chat. The feud continues. It doesn't matter what YouTube live stream they're on. They've been feuding away in the chat by the looks of it, as I could see. So, thank you to everybody sticking with us in the chat. And, well... On that hot note, I'm going to go probably have another cold shower, my 3rd one of the day. And that's it, ladies and gentlemen. So I've been Jay. This has been Jay's Toy Collection UK. This has been This Week in Toys. Thank you to all my guests you can see on the stream. And I will see you next time. I'll probably put another video up on Giant Man tomorrow as I try and give you my sort of in-depth thoughts just to get another video out of it, really. So, well... That's the YouTube game, ladies and gentlemen. We'll see you on the next one. Wave, everybody, and I will press the end stream button, which takes a good 10 seconds usually. So keep those hands up. See you next time.
Bye.